Hillary Chu, and I'm part of the Fuse Breakers team, and today we'll be doing a presentation on batteries, volts, amps, and watts. So first thing we want to talk about is common household batteries. So what does a battery do? A battery stores chemical energy. And what is this same? The same is what we call voltage. What is different is the amount of energy stored. And why does that matter? It's because batteries do not have infinite power. So when we want to talk about electricity, we can compare it to water. So like a water battery has voltage, which is the pressure of the water, and the resistance, which is as if there was a tube of water with a hole in it, and the water being pushed out of the hole, and the size of the hole is what we would compare resistance to. And the water flowing out of the hole is what we would compare electrical current to. So a water experiment that you could do is you could get two different size cylinders and fill them up to the same height of water and make the same size hole in each. And what you're trying to test is to see what happens when you pull both stoppers out at the same time. Which water stream do you think will go further? Initially, when you first pull out both stoppers, you'll see that the water flow is the same. But why? It's because the pressure has to do with the height of the water, not the amount of the water. And since we started the experiment with the same height of water in both different sized cylinders, the initial flow and the pressure will be the same. So when you do the experiment, the same hole size is basically being compared to as having the same resistance in batteries. And because the cylinders are different size, over time, the height of the water will no longer be the same. So the voltages won't equal the same, meaning the water flow will become different. The smaller tube is going to run out of water first just because there's less water in it. And when you want to talk about why, it's because the bigger cylinder, like a bigger battery, holds more energy, just like how a bigger cylinder holds more water, and can provide more power or watts for batteries for a longer period of time. Some analogies we can make about electricity are that there is a relationship between volts, resistance, current, and power. And the relationship between these four are what we call Watt's law and Ohm's law. So Watt's law is for electrical power. The formula is P equals I times E, or P equals I times V. The P stands for power, which is called watts. The I stands for currents, and the V stands for volts. And for Ohm's law, the formula is V equals I times R. V stands for voltage, I stands for current, and R stands for resistance. The next thing we want to talk about is what is a fuse. So you want to think about it as what happens when you put too much air in a balloon. It would pop, right? Because there's too much air and it makes it expand to the point where it can't hold anymore. So like a fuse allows electricity to flow through it, and until there's too much electricity, and then it breaks as a safety mechanism to make sure that there's not too much energy and too much electricity flowing through a system. And so here we have two different types of fuses. You can kind of see it. And the thing about fuses is they have a little connector in the middle, and when a fuse breaks, it'll snap in half, and that's how you can tell. And so here's a picture of a broken fuse. And so the important question we should be asking is, why do we care, and where should the fuse be placed? Well, ideally, we want the fuse to burn up or blow first before anything else is damaged. So this fuse is like a safety mechanism where when it snaps and it breaks, you would rather have a little fuse break than say your whole system fall apart or blow up like the balloon did. And lastly, for those of you who like math, here is a little chart that shows you how power, voltage, current, and resistance relate to each other, and how by knowing just a few values, you can determine the others. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions, and don't forget to check out our website at www.fusebreakers.org if you have any more questions.